What's up, everybody? This is episode 2 of the Joe and Joe Show. My name is Joe Rotunda, Director of Operations and Assistant Matchmaker with Main Events. We have Jolene Mazzone, Vice President of Operations and Head Matchmaker at Main Events, and former NABF Matchmaker of the Year. We also have behind the scenes, Anthony Haynes.
What's up,
Anthony?
What is he?
Our producer and our millennial who will be popping in and out. If you saw episode 1, you know the routine. Also behind the scenes, we have Alexis Sullivan, who's our creative director.
We also want to thank people from our first episode, Adrian Clark, the Fight Network, for supporting us, retweeting, and all that good stuff. Also, please follow us on social media at The Joe and Joe Show, JOANDJOE Show, on Twitter, on Instagram, and on YouTube. Also, my handle is at J Mazzone, Mizzone, and at Joseph Rotunda.
Cool. All right, our second guest for this week is the legendary Kathy Duva. She's the CEO of Main Events Boxing Promotions, promoted some of the biggest fights and fighters throughout the past 30 years, and she's a 2020 International Boxing Hall of Fame inductee. Come on in, Miss Duva.
Kathy, you don't have to be so formal.
Fired on my day off.
There she is.
Kathy.
Hi, it's so good to see you.
So how you doing with this quarantine?
I'm keeping myself so busy, cleaning my house, throwing things away, straightening out my kids' rooms that haven't been touched since they moved out. So it's been good. I've been enjoying it. Strangely.
When do you think we're going to get back to normal?
So what do you mean by normal? You mean like you could just walk out the door and go wherever you want to go and walk into a bar and have a drink?
I don't think that exists anymore. When do you think we're going to get back to somewhat normalcy?
I'm hoping by the fall.
Same with fights. You think fights will be back by the fall? No fans?
So. I hear people are talking about trying to do some, like in a controlled environment in a place like Vegas. That's an idea we had also discussed. It's going to require, Las Vegas to put in a lot of infrastructure, which they may be doing already for bigger teams. And if that happens, I think there's a chance. There may be other venues like that where that can be done, where everybody can be quarantined together and tested and make sure it's safe. But the problem is that, you can't do that until there really are enough tests. You can't take them away from people who are working in hospitals or policing the streets or, out risking their lives every day. So we don't know when that's going to happen. And at the rate things are going, God knows if it will.
What do you think is more important, the actual test or an antibody test?
I think from what I've been reading and learning, they serve two different purposes. They don't know yet if the antibodies make you immune. Obviously, if they did, then people who had the antibodies would have a lot less to worry about. But I think the purpose of the antibody test really is to measure it to see how much of the population has been infected, because there's so many people that are asymptomatic.
Right.
But the tests, those have to be done for people to be able to be together and be safe. When you do a fight, you're talking about bringing in 50 to 100 people at least, and that's before we talk about the people that work at the venue and the television crew and all that business. So it's a lot of people in one place, and any one of them could set off a complete chain reaction. That's a total disaster. So I don't know. They certainly don't have the kinds of tests they need, the quick tests and ample enough supply to do what they need to do yet. But people who are smarter and more powerful than we are certainly working on making that happen, I hope. We'll see.
So what have you been doing about your hair, nails, eyelashes?
I've been learning to do my own hair. That's been one of my projects. I did it right?
It looks good.
Looks good, right?
Yeah, it does.
It does. No, I was really surprised at that. I even cut my own bangs a little bit.
Wow.
Been using that spray on hair color to do my roots. I don't think I'm ready to go completely white yet, but I can whenever I want to. Don't think I want to lose my signature red color though.
No.
No.
Keep spraying.
But yeah, so I got, false eyelashes, and my nails are a total disaster from all the cleaning I've been doing. I've given up on those.
Yeah.
Let's get Hall of Fame real quick. Were you surprised? Really? Were you surprised when you got the nod, or did you kind of see it coming?
No, I was shocked. You know that. I was shocked.
We know that.
Well, they don't know that. There's millions of people watching.
Let's hope.
I was all the electors are men. Women. There've only been 2 others that have been put into it, both posthumously. With any luck, I'll be the first live one. But it's just it's such an amazing thing that I never expected, and I'm so thrilled about it. Gonna have to wait another year though to enjoy it.
They fucked our party up, man.
Bad.
They really did.
What can we do? It's just it's just worth waiting for. It'll be another year. We'll have a double induction and twice as many people, hopefully.
Yeah, we got to book rooms now. It's gonna be too many people down there.
Yeah, that is gonna be a problem actually. Well, won't be ours to solve, but.
As soon as we hang up, I'll start booking rooms and shit.
You start booking rooms. We'll just do we'll do the Winnebago, and we'll all stay there together.
Oh my God.
That's what Joe wants to do. We'll go in the Winnebago. It'll be great.
All right. Why don't we so you want to jump into the scorecards?
Yeah.
All right. So we're gonna go to the scorecards. This is a new segment we included. And by the way, just so you know, the fact that you're sitting down, you're already in the lead for guest of the year.
Yeah, I know. I saw the first shot.
He didn't get it. He was doing butt punches for 30 minutes. And it was all over the place. Weird.
Yeah,
so congrats on that. That's huge.
Thank you.
All right, so we're going to go to the scorecards. It's a new segment. I'm going to list off 6 rounds, so 6 topics, and you can either score it a 10-9, in which you're in favor of it, or you can deduct a point, in which you're not in favor of it. You understand?
Okay. Yeah, I get boxing.
All right.
Okay.
Round number 1.
Yeah.
Fighters who walk out to a live performance.
Depends on who. I got to give that for the most part. That's a minus.
That's deduct the fucking point.
Deduct the point.
You have an opinion on that, Jolene?
Huh?
You have an opinion on that?
A live performance, like
Yeah.
someone who's rapping or singing?
Yeah.
No. Hell fucking no. Hell no.
I agree. Deduct. All right, good. For the next one, during main event introductions, allowing the ring to be filled with dozens of people who have little to nothing to do with the actual bout, aka fighters' uncles, their neighbors, co-managers, extended promotional staff.
Oh, that's a big deduction. That might be a 2-point deduction. Can I do that?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Of course you could.
Right? Okay. 2 points.
All right.
You know how
next one is fight marinating.
See, that's a tough one because sometimes you have to, but most of the time that just blows up in your face. So I got to take a point for that too.
In this day and age.
No, you can't marinate in this day and age now.
All right.
No. Look,
why do you say that?
We got some criticism from some people about putting Sergey in with Canelo when we did. Jump at it, take the fight, do it when, it wasn't totally ideal. After what's happened here, I think it's pretty clear we made the right decision. I don't know how anybody could say we didn't, because that fight would have never happened. So that's the thing. When you have the opportunity to do something special, you got to do it.
Right.
I think that's. I was talking to somebody today, and we were talking about the legendary nights on HBO and how
they're the best.
Like about a half a dozen of those main events was involved in, and then we were talking about all the some of the great fights that have been on Showtime, and main events was involved in them, half of them too. And when you think about it, that's partly because we've always been willing to work with everybody and make the fight when you get the chance. That was the way my late husband Dan approached it. That's how he taught me. That's how I think Jolene has learned that, and I think that's why this little company that punches way above its weight was involved in so many classic legendary nights.
Right.
And that's not even including the Gaddy Ward trilogy. Oh, there he goes again.
And Marco's back. Marco's
Is your dog mad at you?
Marco has opinions about this. Yes, he does. Marco, he wants to go out. That's what he wants. Can I
All right. Next one. YouTubers fighting. We're in that next generation. Things are changing. It's getting fancy.
While I don't like it, I can't. Can I score that even? Because it's like I don't love it, but at the same time, I recognize why it happens, and I don't think it's the end of the world.
All right. What's your take on that?
We got to get Marco out of here. Can I
Go take Marco out. Go take Marco out. Me and Joe will finish. Go. Jesus. YouTubers fighting?
Yeah.
I think we're just in a different age.
Right.
I think the thing is with them fighting, to me, they're all on the same level. It's not like a YouTuber's fighting Canelo.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
I'm in. I'm all for it. I'm not mad at it at all.
I'm not mad at it as long as they're on the same level.
Right.
I don't want to see a YouTuber fight a boxer who had over 100 amateur fights.
Right. And my thing is like there's only been a couple to my knowledge, but they've been competitive. I'd rather watch two fucking guys go at it competitively than some of these mismatches you see anyway.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at the YouTube shit at all. They can fight all day. I'll tune in. I'm not going to follow them.
Because they're on the same level.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to 10-9 that.
Okay.
We're 10-9ing?
Yeah, I think 10-9.
Convince me. All right.
All right. Fighters that release footage of knocking out their sparring partners.
No, that's a big no.
Big no-no.
That's a two-pointer. That's a two-pointer.
That's a two-pointer. Yeah, what happens in the gym stays in the gym. That's just the way it should be.
It's not releasing footage. It's the talk too.
Yeah. It's not relevant. Plus, what happens in sparring is completely irrelevant to what happens in a fight. Not the same thing.
Exactly.
All right, last one, round 6. Multiple title holders in one division.
See, that to me isn't even round 2, because while we all know the downside to that, and that is, of course, there's no clarity. The upside to it is it creates a lot more opportunities for fighters. And with television so determined to have title fights no matter what, even if they're not for anything, let's have let's make it 12 rounds. People forget Gaddy Ward 3 fights, 10 rounds each. It could be done.
Yeah.
And it could be huge, but that's probably the last time it happened. So if having a title is this difference between a fighter being active and having the chance to earn a good living and not, then you got to have the titles.
So
you agree?
You got that?
Huh?
You got that? She's okay with that, right?
Okay with that, yeah.
No, I am okay with it.
What is it that you're drinking tonight that you're a little slow?
I'm slow?
Yeah. What is
Dude,
it?
I'm jumping in the fucking
Corona.
Well, the fucking sales are down and shit. Yeah, it makes no sense, man. Went out and bought a 6-pack. Getting nuts tonight.
No.
Done with the wine?
Fuck that. Never do that again. I'll never do it before a podcast. Yeah, I was struggling hard. It's like liquid weed. I couldn't do it.
All right, so we're going to put you on the spot for a second.
Oh, no.
This is one time. There's going to be many times during this.
Okay.
For myself and Joe, what's one great thing about us and what's one thing that needs improvement?
Wow.
Ready. Tell me the good thing first.
Oh, man, that's complicated. For each one of you?
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be complicated.
So do I have to take the one person at a time, or the 2 good things first and the 2 bad?
However you want to do it. 2 good things first.
what's great about you, and what needs work. All right, so we'll start with Joe. What's great about Joe is that he is so enthusiastic and loves his job and works so hard and keeps us all laughing and smiling all the time.
Fuck yeah. Keep going. Don't worry about Jolene.
What he needs to work on, however, is that he's got to learn to sit down at the table and have lunch with everybody and talk like a grown-up and schmooze a little more with people.
Damn, zoom out. I never get invited.
Oh, well, that's why, because you got to work at, well, so we invite you all the time. That is such a lie. We all go out to dinner at a fight and you're too busy. You're out driving opponents somewhere or whatever. We know you're.
And he lies. He lies.
He lies. He does. He lies about it. He tells us he's busy and he's not, and then we feel hurt.
Yeah.
I can't do dinners, man. I can't do the fancy dinners. They fuck me up.
Yeah, you don't want to.
And especially the guests. Like, some guests are fancy, and it's like, all right, can I put my elbows on the table? Should I take them down? I don't know. And then I start freaking out, and I'm like, fuck, man.
It's a fancy boxing dinner. How fancy could it be?
True.
Then you guys start saying big words, and you see me up here circulating, like, what the fuck does that
Look
mean?
at all the fun we had in Russia. You made it through that dinner.
My favorite fight week ever.
Mine too, I think.
All right, enough of me. Get Jolene now. This will be fun.
Okay, what's great about Jolene? What's great about Jolene is that she is the most self-assured, how do I put this correctly? She's most self-assured, completely comfortable with herself, and brave woman I've ever known.
Joe.
Pretty good, right? But it's true.
Yeah.
It's true. I've said
Now improvements.
got a lot of courage. Got a lot of courage.
All right, now let's fucking hammer her.
What does she got to work? What does she got to work on? Sometimes she's a little too abrasive. It's like there's like a line. It's a very fine line. Every now and then you cross over. Like well, I've been there for some of your fist fights, you know. So you haven't done that lately, so that's good. But there have been times, let's face it, when you might have gone over the line with your assertiveness. But on the whole, I'd rather have you be assertive than not. And I've learned a lot from you.
All right, I've learned a lot more from you. Don't worry.
Well, good.
All right, this is getting too nice. Let's fucking spice shit up. Kathy, if you had to replace Donald Trump with a fighter, which fighter is it?
Anyone.
Oh, don't do that.
I don't care. Anybody.
Donnie's nice.
There's nobody who wouldn't be better than him. There's
Oh,
actually nobody who wouldn't be better than him.
Donnie's trying. Come on, one fighter.
One fighter? Oh my God, I gotta pick one. Who? Well, he's gotta be an American, because that's the rule. He's gotta be over 39, so that's the rule.
No, don't worry about that. We're gonna change the rules.
Oh, we're gonna change the rules? You could be from
Yeah,
any
just pick a
country.
fighter. Any country.
Who would I make president? Jeez. God, you know, like there's some I can think of who are definitely smart enough. There's some that have the personality and the charisma that you need, and the ability to deal with people. There's some who know exactly how to act and be really, you know, convincing and assuring that they're in charge and they're cool. Since I have to pick one, you know what? I'll pick George Foreman. I think he would be a good president.
Yeah, fuck, bring the...
Because he has all of those qualities. He's very smart. He has a great way with people. He's a compassionate
person. My pick would be?
Who?
God rest his soul. He's not here with us, Pernell Whitaker.
He'd be golden.
Because in reality, Joe, he would just listen to us, so it would be like we're listening.
We'd be like, P, send a missile, P.
Oh, could you imagine? No.
Those are good ones. I was only thinking active fighters. Those are good ones.
Who do you have, president?
I was going fucking Wilder, man. Those press conferences would be fun. The whole fucking till this
That's how
day
we got
shit.
Trump. People thought the press conferences would be fun. We need a grown-up.
Yeah.
We need
No,
somebody
Wilder.
Joe, I like Wilder, but that was one of the fucking horriblest picks I've ever heard.
What? Really?
Horrible.
Dude.
to come walking
Till
into
this
his
day.
inauguration wearing one of those, that thing on his face and the costume and no.
All right, let's get out of this fucking.
Yeah,
question.
get out of that because that was
I can't
bad.
get ripped. All right, non-boxing. If you could get rid of one holiday, which one is it? That answer did suck. I'm bummed I said that. All right. If you could get rid of one holiday, which one is it?
We want to get rid of a holiday?
Yeah, if you're gonna get rid of one holiday, and you're like,
You
all
want
right,
to get rid of one holiday.
Why would you want to get rid of a holiday though?
Because we do. This is the Joe and Joe show. Go.
Well, it'd have to be a short one. And a not a terribly important one like Flag Day. Because I wouldn't miss it.
Heard of it.
I know
What
that's
holiday would you get rid of, Joe?
Yeah.
I think Easter's so dumb, dude. There's no way abundance.
You are such a good father. You are a
Why?
father.
I still give them chocolates. I just don't think it's like.
You're a father. That's horrible.
Dude, my kids still not
Every
Easter.
kid needs Peter Cottontail in their fucking life.
They don't need Peter. They got Joey. We don't need fucking the Easter Bunny.
Horrible. Next question, go. You're horrible.
All right, if you never fell into boxing, what would you be doing?
What would I be doing? When I fell into boxing, I was a newspaper reporter. But I don't think I'd be doing that because nobody gets to do that anymore. People lose their jobs. There's just so many fewer opportunities in that world. But maybe I'd still be doing that. I don't know. But that's what I was doing.
Right.
Or maybe you'd be working for HGTV as like an in-house organizer with this Corona thing.
Okay.
All right. We're gonna
What about you, Joe? You have to answer.
I don't know. I think I have a good voice. I think I can sing.
Really?
Yeah. Dude, I swear to God, I think I can sing.
Come on, sing.
You can't sing though, Joe. I've been with you on the road. You really can't sing.
No, I think deep down I have some nice vocals. I do. I'm not trying to brag. Like I just think I can sing. I think I'm decent.
You have to sing for us now, Joe.
Anthony, go. Sing something.
I'm not singing straight. I'm a bad singer.
No, Joe, go ahead. Let's sing.
No.
Yeah, we want to hear you sing.
I shouldn't have started drinking. I'm good, man. I'm next episode. I'll start.
Just Bon Jovi.
Dude, I can't control myself. Living on a Prayer comes on, it rips my whole soul out.
Sing one part of Living on a Prayer. Go.
No, dude, we
You gotta do it for the podcast.
Just do
right.
the chorus.
Wed, Better, Dead? Or no, we're skipping that one?
You're such an asshole.
Wed, Better, Dead?
No.
We'll skip that one?
We're skipping
Okay.
it.
No, we're not skipping. Wed, Better, Dead. Because these are three great names.
Okay.
You can answer or you don't have to.
Mm-hmm.
Bed or Dead.
Mm-hmm.
Exotic.
Who? I didn't
Joey
hear you.
Exotic, the Tiger King. Dog the Bounty Hunter.
Oh, God.
Oh
And Pee Wee Herman.
Oh, my God.
Well, Pee-wee before the movie theater, where he was like playing Spin the Bottle by himself. The Pee-wee from the movie.
Well, Joe
The
Exotic.
bodied up Pee-wee.
Well, Joe Exotic's gay, right? So I could marry him and he wouldn't bother me.
I don't think he was, but keep going.
So yeah, I'll play Joe Exotic. Pee Wee Herman. Who's the other
Dog the Bounty
one?
Hunter.
Oh God, Dog the Bounty Hunter. No, he's gross.
Another dime piece.
But then again, Pee Wee Herman's, he's kind of a pervert. But he looks like he might be kind of fun. All right, so Bed Pee Wee and Dog the Bounty Hunter. Yeah.
Ooh, interesting. All right. You did it, Joe.
I did.
Man. All right, let's go back to boxing. Thank you for doing that.
I'm
Your
never
current-
writing that down. What?
Current number 1 and number 2 pound for pound.
Oh Lord, number 1 and number 2. God, I don't remember boxing. It's been so long. Number 1 is Lomachenko, I think. Number 2, probably Errol Spence, but he has not been active for a long time, so it's hard to say.
Who?
Errol Spence.
Number 2?
Yeah, I think he's really that good, but we don't know because he hasn't fought since his accident. So this is like pre-accident Errol Spence.
Canelo?
Okay,
Mm.
Canelo. All right, Canelo. Yeah, he would go ahead Errol Spence. All right, so Canelo's not. I would put Lomachenko ahead of Canelo. As great as Canelo is, and he's great.
No, I agree. I'm not mad at that.
Yeah. No, you're right.
Top 2 are Lomachenko and Canelo. Just
Okay.
because Canelo fought.
That's true.
Who's yours, Joe? Arthur Abraham and some other random?
Well, I got in order. I got Canelo. Canelo. My pound.
You just need 1 and 2. I don't need 10.
Okay. Canelo and Usyk, and I don't even think it's debatable, but that's mine.
So you're a Ukrainian fan?
Yes.
Okay.
I think Usyk's the best, most talented fighter in the world. But keep going. Who's yours?
He might be. He might be.
I just said Lomachenko and Canelo.
All right, that's wrong, but that's good. All right. Biggest upset in a fight that you saw coming.
Oh.
Oh, I know mine.
Yeah, but you're on our podcast.
Well, well, biggest, I mean, that I saw coming had to be Holyfield beating Douglas and Tyson, but recently it was Tyson Fury beating Klitschko.
Oh, man. It's a good one.
Did see that coming.
Yeah. What about you? You got one?
No, it's not about us. Worst fight week that you've ever been a part of? And I know this answer.
Tyson Lewis. Nothing will ever come
Yes.
close to that. That was like just a week of living in hell.
Tyson Lewis?
Yes.
Yeah, worst ever. And I bet you everybody who was there would have the same answer.
Okay, you've been a huge part of the previous 3 decades of boxing. Joe, get this, I froze.
Okay. Which decade of the decades you've been a part of stands out the most to you? Like, what's like the glory years to you? The 90s, the 2000s?
Yeah, that's easily the 90s. It was
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah, with one amazing fight after another. We were at the top of everything with Holyfield and Lewis and Whitaker and Meldrick Taylor, and just went on. And then it was an incredible time. We never lost. We used to go to fights, and we had several other champions besides them, and we just, like, if we lost a fight, it was the exception. We couldn't believe it.
All right.
It was fun.
which
We traveled
fight
all over
stick-
the world. We had so much fun. So,
Which fight sticks out as one that made you more nervous than the rest?
good Lord. Whitaker, I remember Whitaker and Chavez made me very nervous. And because I knew we were going to get robbed. And I think same thing with Sergey and Andre Ward.
Oh, right.
I was a wreck that day. Same reason.
What are the easiest championship level fights you ever made?
That I personally was involved with, or main events?
That you personally were involved with that you made that was like quick.
Oh, it was easy to make it. Oh,
Yeah.
what was the easiest? Championship fights?
I know this one.
What? I don't even know. What? You tell me.
Wasn't it Hopkins and Kovalev?
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a good one. I wasn't even thinking about that. You're right. You're right. That was like that was like one phone call. Okay, we have a deal.
Yeah, and the contracts were signed.
You're right. You're right. I wasn't thinking about it. They all seem hard, but you're right. That one was easy.
Who do you think fighters that you promoted, who was one of the easiest fighters to promote?
To promote? or to deal with, because those are two different things. For example, like
to sell, to promote, to promote.
promoting Gaddy was the marketing part was easy. Dealing with him was, as you know, not always easy.
It was interesting.
Hector Comacho was a promotional machine, but it was not easy to deal with. Generally, you don't get both of those in the same package.
Yeah.
Sergey's come pretty close, although he's certainly had his eruptions. But as far as being cooperative and being able to sell his persona and whatnot, he made it easy in a lot of ways, and then he made it incredibly hard in others. So
Yeah.
nobody comes in one package where they've got it all. I don't think I've ever seen that. Again, we did a fight with Tyson Fury. My God, he was just again another promotion machine, but somebody who had all kinds of. We didn't deal with him long enough to have to deal with the hard parts. So I would guess the one fight we did with him was very easy to promote.
Yeah. Agreed.
All right. What about what the easiest promoter, past or present, that you've worked with?
Don Chargin. Always fair, always professional, always, understood. We were always on the same page. He was a mentor to my husband, and he was just somebody who really got it. And it was always a pleasure when we worked with him. He's the first one that jumps to mind. I don't want to insult anybody we work with. But.
What, no, that was a great pick. What's your favorite venue to do a fight at?
I love going to Madison Square Garden just because it's Madison Square Garden. I don't know that anything will ever feel like that. And I always love doing the fights with Bally's in Atlantic City with Arturo and Bally's and Caesars in Atlantic City. That was always like that felt like home. And years ago, long time ago, we used to do so many fights at Caesar's Palace. That used to feel like home too. Loved it there.
Go, Joe.
All right. What advice would you give to someone trying to be a fight promoter?
Find another job. It's a really hard job. It's a really, and getting started now, oh Lord, I don't know. The business is going through a lot of changes, and I don't know when these changes will settle down and we'll have some clear sense of what the future is going to look like. But it's a very hard business. It's hard to break in. It's hard to be successful. Think about, I saw a thing about with 50 Cent doing an interview the other day, and the interviewer was just flattering him and going on and on about how successful he was in everything he did. And he produces television shows, and he's had huge business deals that were big successes and wonderful albums that have made a fortune for him. And boxing just crushed him. So that should give you an idea how hard this job is.
Agreed. All right, I'm going to wrap this up with our final question.
Okay.
I'm going to give you an out.
Oh, good. That makes it sound like it won't be so easy. What?
You should answer this.
Oh dear, what?
If any person in the industry that you could trip, punch, or mush, who would it be? Don't like them, but some people just need like a little,
Oh, see, that just get me in so much trouble.
We'll edit it out. Just go.
No, I don't trust you. Trip, punch, or mush. Oh Lord, because like back in the day, like we would be like openly hostile to each other. And it was fine, like I punched Don King, no problem, Like you can't say that stuff anymore because he's like this beloved old guy now. There's some other beloved old guys that kind of evoke that same kind of feeling.
The thing is King's not in the picture anymore, but you could still fucking trip him from all the years. You still could, right, Joe?
Yeah, a lot worse. A lot worse than that for some of the stuff he did to us.
I'm trying to be nice because he's old.
Yeah, I know. I do too. Yeah, I know. And you shouldn't pick on somebody who's not in the business really, and and old, but who would I like to? No, I just can't say it out loud. I get in too much trouble. I get in trouble for these things.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry. You know, I always tell you this. You get away with this. You're the only woman I know who can get away with this. I say something like that, and it will follow me for years.
On our next show, I'll tell you who I'm gonna trip, punch, slap, and mush.
Wow. Okay.
Grand slam.
I'm looking forward
All
to
right,
it.
wrap it up, Joe.
All right, that's it. We thank you. Appreciate it. Hopefully this doesn't affect our treatment at work when we come back.
And make sure you go let Marco in.
Yeah, he's barking. Can you hear him? He's barking to come in. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you. It's been fun. Bye.
All right. Bye.